Welcome to Fact Finders, your one-stop channel for all things intriguing and informational. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Today, we're diving into the world of artificial intelligence, specifically Google's Gemini's AI image generation. This groundbreaking technology has the capability to generate images, even historical ones, with an uncanny level of detail and accuracy. But recently, it's been in the spotlight for a different reason. Users have raised eyebrows over Gemini's interpretation of history, with some images showcasing anachronistic representations of historical figures. Imagine seeing a founding father portrayed as African American, or a German couple from the 1820s depicted as a Native American man and Indian woman. Intriguing, isn't it? But why did this happen? How did this advanced AI model miscalculate historical accuracy? As we delve deeper, we'll uncover what went wrong with Google's Gemini. Now, let's take a closer look at the issue that has raised eyebrows around the world. Gemini's image generation, a promising feature of Google's AI model, found itself in the eye of a storm recently. The problem? Well, it's a case of history being rewritten, but not in a good way. Gemini was creating images that were historically inaccurate. Imagine this: a founding father who was African American or a Native American man and an Indian woman being portrayed as representative of an 1820s-era German couple. This doesn't quite match up with historical records, does it? Users were quick to notice these discrepancies and complaints started pouring in. Google, always responsive to user feedback, acknowledged the issue. Jack Krawczyk, Google's senior director of product, who is overseeing the AI model's development, posted on X that they were working to adjust the model to provide historically accurate results. But it wasn't as simple as flicking a switch. The fix was more complicated than the team initially thought. And so, early on a Thursday morning, Google had to take a drastic step. They disabled the ability to generate images of people with this tool. It's quite a turn of events, isn't it? A tool that was intended to enrich our understanding of history was instead distorting it. Google's senior vice president, Prabhakar Raghavan, shared some insight into what went wrong with Gemini. He said that their tuning to ensure Gemini showed a range of people failed to account for cases that should clearly not show a range. Over time, the model became more cautious than intended and refused to answer certain prompts entirely, wrongly interpreting some very anodyne prompts as sensitive. So we see that Gemini was trained to show a variety of different races, but it didn't know that there were times when that might not be appropriate. A classic case of AI going a bit off the rails. So Google had to pause Gemini's image generation. But what was the root cause of this problem? To understand the root cause, we need to delve into the complex world of AI algorithms. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is like an extremely diligent student, learning from vast amounts of data and making connections invisible to the human eye. AI models, like Gemini, are trained using thousands or even millions of examples. In Gemini's case, it was trained on a diverse dataset that included images of people from all walks of life and across different historical periods. The aim was to ensure Gemini could generate a wide range of people, a well-intentioned goal to promote inclusivity and diversity. However, the crux of the problem lies in the training. AI models not only learn from the data they're fed, but they also learn the way they're taught to interpret that data. This is where Gemini stumbled. The model was trained to show a variety of different races, but it did not understand when this might not be historically accurate or appropriate. Imagine Gemini as a diligent artist with a vast palette of colors. It knows all the colors and when to use them, but it doesn't understand the context, the historical and cultural significance of those colors. So it ends up painting a historical German couple with colors that represent an African American and a Native American man, or an Indian woman. Moreover, Gemini started interpreting certain prompts as sensitive. It's like a child who, after being scolded for a mistake, becomes overly cautious and starts avoiding even the simplest tasks that could lead to a similar mistake. In the AI world, this is known as overfitting, where the model becomes so finely tuned to its training data that it fails to generalize well to new, unseen data. In Gemini's case, It was so cautious that it refused to answer certain prompts entirely, wrongly interpreting some very anodyne prompts as sensitive. This overcaution is a reflection of the model's training. The model was trained to be sensitive to racial and cultural diversity, but it became overly sensitive, to the point of refusing to generate certain images. This is a classic conundrum in AI training. The balance between accuracy and sensitivity is a delicate one. On one hand, we want our AI models to be accurate, to generate images that are historically correct. On the other hand, we want them to be sensitive, to respect diversity and avoid perpetuating stereotypes. Striking the right balance is a complex task, and it's clear that Gemini tipped too far on the side of sensitivity. So the root cause of the problem with Gemini's image generation lies in the training. It's a reminder that AI is not infallible. It's a tool, and like any tool, it's only as good as the hands that wield it. The issue here is not with the AI itself, but with the way it was trained. This highlights the intricate balance needed in AI training. But how is Google addressing this? Google, being the tech giant that it is, was quick to respond to the issue. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Google's Senior Director of Product, Jack Krawczyk, who is at the helm of Gemini's AI model development, took to the stage to address the problem. Krawczyk communicated that the Gemini team was actively working on adjusting the model to provide historically accurate results. However, the task proved to be more complex than initially anticipated. As the team delved deeper into the problem, it became evident that the issue wasn't simply about tweaking a few parameters. It was about redefining the fundamental understanding of the AI model. It was about teaching the model to respect the nuances of historical and cultural contexts, something that it had overlooked. In response to the mounting concerns, Google took a bold step. They disabled the ability to generate images of people using Gemini. This was not a decision taken lightly. It signified Google's commitment to putting the needs and sensitivities of its users above all else. It was a clear message that Google wouldn't compromise on the accuracy and appropriateness of its AI tools. Google's SVP, Prabhakar Raghavan, shed more light on what went wrong with Gemini. In his words, our tuning to ensure that Gemini showed a range of people failed to account for cases that should clearly not show a range. Gemini, in its quest to be diverse, had failed to recognize situations where diversity was not historically or contextually accurate. This was a significant oversight that needed to be corrected. Moreover, Raghavan pointed out another issue. Over time, Gemini had become overly cautious, refusing to answer certain prompts entirely. It was wrongly interpreting some very anodyne prompts as sensitive. This overcautiousness was another unintended consequence that needed to be addressed. So what does the future hold for Gemini? Google is not backing down. They are committed to making Gemini better, more accurate, and more contextually sensitive. They are working tirelessly to recalibrate the model, to teach it to understand and respect the nuances of historical and cultural contexts. Google is also working on making Gemini less overly cautious to ensure it doesn't wrongly interpret harmless prompts as sensitive. This journey is not going to be easy. It's a journey of teaching an AI model to understand the complexities of human history and culture, a feat that is easier said than done. But Google is determined. They are committed to ensuring that Gemini becomes a tool that everyone can use without fear of misrepresentation or inaccuracies. Google's response to this issue is a testament to its commitment to responsible AI use. They've shown that they are not afraid to tackle the hard issues head-on, to learn from their mistakes, and to make the necessary changes for the betterment of their users. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the mark of a true tech giant. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We've delved into the intricacies of Google's Gemini AI image generation and explored the challenges that arose. We've seen how Gemini, despite being trained to depict a diverse range of people, stumbled when it failed to discern when such diversity might not be historically accurate. We've also learned that creating an AI model that strikes the right balance between diversity and accuracy is no simple task. It's a complex dance that requires continuous fine-tuning and adjustment. Google's response to the issue serves as a reminder of the importance of responsible AI use and the continuous challenges inherent in AI training. In the end, it's clear that Google's journey with Gemini is far from over. It's a learning curve, not just for Google, but for all of us navigating the world of AI. Remember, in the world of AI, it's all about striking the right balance. Thanks for joining us on Fact Finders, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below.